Hi, it's David here with Future Trading. I want to be before you long, but I want to make sure I address a message that I have received here about the information on the channel. So I'm not covering reversals here. I tried to make sure that I said that in this video here that I don't want anyone coming through a lot of content only to find out that I'm really mainly focused on the trend. So I try to put it here in the header, and I want to make sure that I said it in that video. So I don't want to waste anyone's time. That's really important to me. And also, they use the word called strategy. Now, that is a word I try to be careful with. They reference at when it came to what it is that I'm teaching, and they said it was a strategy that they were interested in. I try to stay away from that word just a little bit because it's a general plan to achieve one or more long-term or overall goals under conditions of uncertainty. And I know a lot of times, and this is why I try to stay away from it, because a lot of times people use information like pivots, prior pivots to the left to gauge what it is that they're going to do with the market uh, before the market even, is moving. Sometimes, that's, I guess, a way of going about it, but you can plan and not account for what they're doing, and that can become very problematic. And so referencing, past data can somewhat get in the way. So you want to make sure that you kind of narrow it down to what's relative in a sense. The way I go about it, yes, it can still become a problem, but I try to make sure that I'm not just, taking, I guess, taking apart the chart before the market is moving and saying, "Hey, I'm just going to be placing orders in this area." That to me is a problem because then you're doing it without them, and so you want to make sure that you're incorporating the market's movement when you're trading. And so the word strategies, yeah, I just want to make sure that I clarify. I don't, I just do information. Whatever the market is telling me, I'm trying to listen to it. And that's all. And so I want to make sure that y'all understand that as well. Now, I want to go over quite a bit of information here. So thank you all here. I don't know if they've resolved the matter here yet. I haven't even checked, but thank you so much for the follows and the likes. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for that comment, my friend. I appreciate you taking the time to comment. I did tell you that. But we're going to throw this information in this section here. So, probably about another 3 videos. So, we're going to jump right into it because I don't want to take up too much time here. And I want to make sure that I cover the trend. So, you definitely know what the trend is. I think you said that you wasn't sure what that was either. So, I've tried to put it in every video, but I'll definitely cover it right now. So, let's get on with this information here. I told you that I thought that they would get past this here, and I even told you they probably would lift before they got here. I told you that in a couple videos ago, and so they managed to get up above it, and they even overshot this static, but only a little bit. So hopefully they'll just go ahead and break back down. But if not, I told you they definitely need to hold steady here. We have the no close bar here on the daily, and so them running up here and turning back around, that kind of makes sense. Let's see what they do from here. All right, so this still makes sense. Here's the no touch, no close pattern. All right, so all we're doing is, if you're new to the channel, we're getting that mid above that high, hard stop here, no close back beneath that bar. And you can take this trade when the bar is moving. You just want to make sure that mid is above that high. And the same goes for this one. If the mid is falling below that low, as the low is above the mid, whichever way you understand it. If that bar is moving up and down, just make sure that that mid falls beneath that low, and then hard stop here, no close back above there. Can price close back above here or below here? Yes, but it's just optimal should they not do it. All right, so now that's the information I wanted to cover there. Now let's get into this range because he did speak about the range and how I'm not elaborating as to how to trade this. It's really simple, my friend. I want you to know that it's not something that I'd spend a lot of time talking about because again, it's something to just give you a location for turning points. So I've noticed over the time of doing this that this time window tends to give you some opportunities. That's all. Give you some opportunities, and if you want, sometimes you can just go ahead and count your trend right in here. And if there's a trend there, it'll give you somewhere inside of this area here that you can get a resumption play back away. Now, hopefully, that's from the means. This is the means right here, and hopefully, you can move it down. But if you get a trend back up, well, when they get up, again, the frame is still there. When it get up, all you would do is here's the means. Hopefully, there's a bar pattern somewhere near the means after they make the trend, or maybe up near the top. Just go ahead and get that pattern and maybe take it that way to the upside. So, not a lot of not a lot of information there that I can go over with you when it comes to that. I don't try to teach the range. I just try to give you a location because sometimes that may help people a bit to know that within this framework. Of course, done my homework for years. I've seen them like really, really set some remarkable entries right into this time window, and they tend to, reward. They tend to reward over time. So if you can get that trend going, and we're going to go over that trend in a second, when you get that trend going, this area that I'm showing you here, this range, here's a means. If you're going to stay up, let's see if they can just give you that pattern somewhere up here. And so when they lift up, just take the pattern and kind of go back down, or vice versa. If they were to go up above the means, or they approach the means, if it's enough information here, if they lean back, just get you a pattern and go up, and hopefully they can get above the means and take off. All right. So that's that information there. Now, let's go over this trend really quickly here. I want to cover this as fast as I possibly can. And then I want to give you a little bit of the real time, if at all possible. If it's outside of the 10 minutes allotted for TikTok, you guys can head over to YouTube. I have the link included so you can take and watch the rest of it. All right. So the trend, we're doing 7 bars, my friend, 7 bars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that's your trend, and they all have to be higher than the prior. All right. We ignore bars that's in between, so we don't count this here. They all have to be higher. You get the center of your trend. Sometimes they'll pull back to the center and then go, or they would run straight away off of the seventh bar. They would just run, keep going, and give you the distance, and that's the income. That's your paycheck. So once they go to 7, they're telling you that this is pretty much how much you're going to make. All right. And then you get the distance. All right. Now, here they went to the back of the uptrend, didn't want to break it, okay, but they gave you 7 back down. Center of the trend there, they came back up, responded really briefly here, came back off that high, and then of course went through it. Now, as I scroll the chart, pay attention to the scale. All right, I want you to pay attention to the scale as I scroll the chart. All right, now this is the center of the scale, the lower part of the scale, and the upper part of the scale. Locations, that's all they are. Locations to kind of give you some information as to what could possibly take place. So as I scroll the chart forward, I tried to outline the trend and this information for you before the news. All right, trying to give you an idea. Okay, so they got up there, used it for support a bit, and then gave you the trend distance. All right, now 9:30, well, 8:30. I'm sorry, 8:30 news came. The low of this bar. Now I want to give you the low of the bar, and then we're going to kind of lean back here. Low 951. All right, so 14,951. That is above the center of the chart. So that's right here. So 14,951. That is right here. All right, so that's above the center of the chart. So they dropped down first. Okay, and then they took off. So above the center of the chart, you're bullish, and then of course above here, you're even the more so. All right, so there's the up, here's the downtrend. Here come 930. There's not 7 in none of this for the downside. So there was no short there. And then of course, and they managed to go up some more, give you some more of that trend distance. Now here's your trend coming back down. All right, so they gave you the 7 bars. And if you take notice, your center of your trend, all right, that's right above the upper part of the scale, down to the center of the scale. They gave you a rotation. You can go back and scroll the video and pause it if you want. They came down to the center of the scale and then a push up and gave you a trend up. Okay. And of course, they stayed beneath that upper part there and they managed to go ahead and give you the trend distance back down for another move. All right, so they gave you the move back down. All right, now that's that chart there. Now let's go with the 5-second chart because I want to give you a little bit of the real time. And again, the reason why this is I would say pretty simple and it should be able to work is because it's incorporating the clock. All right, so this is incorporating time. Okay, we want to make sure that we're looking at the clock. Let me stay in draw mode here. We want to make sure that we're looking at the clock. So it's doing the clock, all right, moving forward. So it's giving us this information forward, not so much of what's going on with what's going on back here, but forward. So if you're looking at a threshold, and that's all it is, we got the center. because we're doing buying and selling. So there's not an infinite number across the board that either party can push this market to. All right. So at some point, you have to get a rotation. So middle of the scale, you're going up and down, tug of war. Whoever win, that's who's going to take it. Same thing with the bottom of the scale, kind of the same ordeal here. We're going like this. And whoever can pull whoever across that line, that should be the thing to keep the market going in that direction. All right. So not really planning without these guys. You kind of want to just do it again with them. Let's remove this. And it's all about procedural knowledge. And that's the other thing I want to make sure I stress to you, procedural information. Now, again, the courts they do proceedings, and so they're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Doesn't matter who's in front of them. The doctor, he does a procedure, so he's always doing an established or an official way of doing something, and it doesn't change. And so, I think that the market needs to essentially offer you the same opportunity. And that's why it's not necessary to do a lot of planning with this information here. The last time I did this video, I did it with a 5 second chart, and I called out the distance and all of that for you in real time. And again, just looking at what's available. So let's say that's about 7 bars here. The center of the trend will probably fall right about here. Or if you want to go off the seventh bar, which I'll go ahead and count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 there. So we will go something to this effect. Now they're making 7 back down clearly. So this will be a failed trend distance to the upside. Now, if they're going down, I want to give it all to you in real time. So I'm not just pointing at the chart in hindsight, telling you, hey, this is going up and down. I know, you kind of stated that, but it's a little bit different than that for me. They ran up to the center of the chart. Let's say 7 right here. Let's just say, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7. I'm sorry. All right, so now they went past our center, of the trend, of the uptrend here. They went past it. It's not to say that they can't get back up, but this will be the center of that uptrend. This will be roughly the center of that downtrend. And so we're looking for that distance. And again, this is on a 5 second chart. All right, no indicators needed, just utilizing the time. This is time we're dealing with down here. So when we move this forward, we're dealing with time, what should happen over time. And if we're going to be doing the back and forth, the fight, remember I just spoke to you about the fight. If this is the lower half, let me divide it in half for you. Okay, so this is the lower half of the chart. Okay, so there's not an infinite number, if you will, give or take, give or take. So this is not an infinite number where it can just travel without some kind of back and forth. So pull me across this line, pull me across this line. Whoever can do it, that's the party that's winning. All right, so now this is the lower half of the chart, and you're fighting for dominance on this as far as a threshold. So this will be your threshold. If you're not doing it that way, you will go from here. Oh, sorry, you will go from here upward here, and then this becomes your threshold for that fight. All right, so now from here, okay, from here to here, you're looking for that fight. So let's see if the sellers can step back in up here near the mid of the chart. They got above our center of our trend. That's fine. Just if you're going to stay down, now let's take that distance again and measure it down all the way down. Let's go from here to here and see where that would put them if they want to come back down. Yes, that would put them right through the bottom of here. But if not, let's do this. Let's take that same measurement that we did for our trend up. I guess it was roughly right about there, give or take. Just want to make sure that this stuff makes sense to you, my friend. So they could put them right back through this pivot here. Notice when they came down here, the buyers picked it up because again, you're trying to fight from that threshold for the long. And if you're beneath it, then you're trying to fight for, I'm sorry, you're trying to fight for the short beneath it. So let's see what happens here. All right, so if you're not going to break that downtrend, you should be able to give me that distance, and that should land right about here. That's a 5 second chart. Most people have no idea what professional trading really consists of, and I'm trying to put it in front of you so you can see it. This is how professionals trade. It's very simple and it's not complicated, I can assure you. You wake up and you should be able to do the same procedural thing, the official or the established way of doing something over and over and over again. And you don't really need indicators. And again, that's totally up to you if you want to use any indicators. I have some. I have a couple of them I use. I actually code a couple of them myself. So it's nothing wrong with indicators. I don't want to tell you that. Okay, that's off the seventh bar that there's anything because it's not. You can use whatever you want. But when it comes to a strategy, I don't say that this is a strategy. I just go with the information, and that's all. And because they're giving you information, and it's best that you reference what it is that they're telling you. And so I'm not trying to plan without them. I'm not. I want to make sure that I'm listening to the market, understanding what it is and what's possible. And so when they stop, hopefully, if they stop in the next few minutes here, this is the distance that they should go again, at least. All right. So let's see. Well, they keep stopping, but they're not lifting up. So I'll just show it to you. So if they don't pull back up, they're going to go at least here. Okay. And again, that's all in real time, just right in real time. And I gave you both possibilities. That's all. Give you both possibilities of what they could do. Now, if they want to come up, they'll come right about here, and they should do this again. That whole hey, let's keep it beneath here and try to pull the activity back down. Okay, it's all about tug of war. Remember, there's a threshold to price. It cannot just run straight away an infinite amount of numbers without turning back around and going the other way. It just can't happen. And so, what you have to do is just work out in your, I guess, your risk tolerance, what that could mean for you. And so it's not good to just widen your stop because you got to make sure that you're in sync with the direction, and you can't plan this out the day before. You can't do that. You have to do it when the market is actually moving, so it can tell you what the flow is. All right, that's all, what the flow is. And you don't need a lot of fancy tools to do it. You can use whatever tools you want to use, but you want to make sure that you understand that the market has a threshold, and it's in front of the chart. This is what professional trading looks like. It's not based on a bunch of hindsight. It's really not. Let me remove some of this information here. And it's 7 bars. It's 7 bars. So I want you to understand that it's 7 bars for me. Now you can go and count however many bars you want and come up with whatever number that makes sense to you, give or take. Let's give a take on this one. Wrong thing. You can make up whatever number it is for you that you think is effective. I've been doing this for a very, very long time and been teaching it as well. And so this is how I go about trading. It's really simple. So let's see if they can get there. Let's see. Give or take. Give or take. And again, because they're beneath here, it should happen even more where you'll see that sale pressure come right back in it. And there you go. So now let's see, can we get there? And I will let you go. I'm not going to hold you much longer than this. I just want to show you what it looks like. It's this scale should point directly to what it is that could give you a trade. Could, but you want to make sure that what's being offered is in line with that. I guess that place or that location or the information that you're willing to take that trade back out in that direction. That's all. So almost there, not quite yet. Let's see if they'll do it. Let's go right here because they kind of stopped right there. So let's go right there and see if they can turn that back around and actually make it. And then I will let you go. Let's see if they'll build the 7 back this way. Let's see if they'll do it. 1, 2, 3. I think they can get through here, but let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yep. I think they can get through it. I do. Let's see if they can do it. Come on. And again, because again, there's a lot of different information online. I can understand if people are having a difficult time trying to get their trading to work. I totally get it, and there's a lot of different information online. I'm just trying to give you something simple that you can pull up the chart at first glance. That's the most important part of what's on my channel here. Let me get that in front of you. All right, so in a digestible way, by understanding any market or time frame at first glance, so you should be able to pull up. That's what professionals do. Should be able to pull up a chart and immediately, at first glance, kind of get an idea of what it is that the information is telling you. What is it telling you currently, right now? Not about, hey, I need to plan. Do a whole lot of marking up the charts with a lot of different trend lines, and I don't have to do any of that. I can just pull up the chart. Been doing it for many years and just automatically know, and there's a good chance we may do this. And it's based on what's in front of me, not what's behind me. I promise you, it's what's in front of me, because again, it deals with this right here. See, this right here is the thing that they'll protect at all costs. Your timing. They're trying to throw your timing off every time you pull the trigger. They want to make sure that you do not get the timing correct. Fortunately, they give you some information because they're going to have to turn the market inside of this frame. Inside of this frame, they're going to absolutely have to turn this market, and so it's going to have to take place in front of you. And that's the fortunate part about it. So even though they can manipulate the win is tied into this frame. Okay, because there's not an infinite amount of prices that they can hit in a day without going the other way. And so you just try to get an idea of what that could be. So let's see, one, two, three, four, five. This should be six, seven. Let's get our let's measure it. Man, I thought they can get through it, but maybe not. All right, so they did this before. So let's see if they can get this done again. And let's just go off of here. So that should be about seven. So that'll put them up there. And again, this is one, two, three. They all have to be higher. So you ignore all of this in here. Four, five, six, and yes, that is seven. So we're going with that information right there. Again, we're using the market's flow to tell us what's possible. So if we're going with the center, let's go with the center here. The center should align itself roughly with the scale. It should, in some regard. Let's go about right there. All right, so that's suggesting that they can get here. All right, that's suggesting that that is possible. So let's see if that's going to happen. I thought that they can slide right through this information here, but they were unable to do it. So they almost made that distance. They almost made it with that rollover there, just didn't quite get there. So let's see what happens here, and then I will absolutely get off here. Let's just see if it can make it. If it can get at least halfway, I'll count it. But they're at the center here. Again, 5-second chart. And let's see if we can get this to work. Now, remember your price pattern as well. If we can get that mid, I don't have it plotted up here, but if we can get the mid beneath the low, it might can keep going and vice versa. All right, so we have the mid above this bar's high, no close here, hard stop here. Let's see if they'll honor it. No, they're turning back around. So let's see if they'll keep coming down. Let's see. Now, this bar here is a no close bar as well. And the hard stop, they hit it, but they came right back off and then brought it right back through. Clearly, this bar's mid is below that low, so the hard stop would be there. No close back above there. I just didn't plot the indicator in here. My apologies. You can see that they moved up to the center and they turned around. So now let's give an eye as to what this looks like. One, two, it's one, two, three, four, five, six. There's seven. So we have seven being plotted again. And so give or take off the seventh one. It can't be both. It can't be both. All right. So are we going to stay up or are we going back down? I told you I believe they can get through this, but we'll see. Maybe they'll just rotate down here. This is the center of this up. So we're going to see if the buyers can pick it right back up, drive it up there, or again, let's get the center on this side of the market. So this is the center, give or take. This is the center here. Just trying to give you an idea of what it actually looks like to do this professionally in real time. All right. And I've done it all online. I've traded all the accounts past the prop accounts, business account. I've traded it all. So let's see if this will actually yield what we need here to the upside. Let's see if they can turn it back around. Let's get that distance going again for the up, just in case they are going to make that happen here. So let's say they're going to do it. Let's say. So that will put them back outside this pivot here. And of course, it cannot be both. So you have to decide for yourself which one would work best for you. You have to decide for yourself. All right. Have to decide for yourself. I'm just trying to give you a mechanical way, an official, established way of doing something. Okay. This is important. This right here. Do not underestimate that this is the only way to go about trading professionally. This is the only way. It has to be something that you can implement over and over and over again and do not change no matter what the conditions are, because a lot of times people blame they'll blame their trading on the type of condition the market presents, but it only does the up and down. Yes, the cyclical activity can be tighter at times where I guess the range is not as wide, but your success with it should not be solely dependent upon the range. per se. It depends on how you're interacting with it, you know. So if you're interacting with the information in a way that's not advantageous, then yes, that can affect your bottom line. But you want to try to go with something that's repeatable. Make sure that it's something that you know it should happen over and over and over again. And so that way you'll interact with it appropriately, even if the range is not as wide. All right. So that deals with scaling and you know things of that nature. So it's totally up to you how you go about that. But I do want to tell you that you would need a procedural way to trade, something that's mechanical, because there's machines involved. All right, there's machines involved. So you would want to go about it very mechanically when you do it. That's all. You want to make sure that you're approaching it systematically. Make sure that you do that. Do not let don't let the market dictate to you how you need to feel about it. You will have feelings associated with what you do because you can't get rid of that. That's involuntary. So you will feel, as it move in your favor or against you, you will have feelings about it. But over time, you will become somewhat bored with it because it's monotonous. It's going to do the same thing, and so you'll expect the feelings to essentially be according to what it is that you're used to. That's all. Let's see if they're going to do either. They almost made here. They almost did it. So here's your range. They're playing with it. Okay, so they're playing with this whole back and forth right now. And then let's do this one because they moved up a bit. Okay, so yeah, that's almost there. That's almost there. So if you're not going to break this and you're not going to break this straight away, then this is pretty much what you're looking at. Okay. You're looking at this distance being played out in between this low and that high. And that's what you have. Okay. And it's based upon what the market is telling you that it will do. It's not you, it's not me, it's just what the market is telling you that it's willing to do. So let's see if they're going to do it again, and that will put them through that pivot. So anyone's buying this on the way back down would probably get their stop ran. Now, will they hold the bottom? That's something we'll have to see. But as it's being suggested by the market's information, it's not a strategy. It's just information. It's telling you that they're coming down, and this is the expected distance that they could make. They could make it. Or yes, you would get this up here, up to that 845 area right here. You would get that move from here back up there. But let's see which one is going to play out here. Notice the location. They may adjust the scale. That's something that will happen from time to time. It will adjust, but the main thing you will have to pay attention to is make sure that the location, no matter that the scale adjusts, but the location is relative to your entry. That's all. And so now you're seeing that the adjustment is actually pushing the activity, up further. It's pushing it up further. Almost made that distance, but not quite. Almost, almost. Let's see what they do this time. Or will we end up here at this 846 and possibly up here at 860? So if they can get past this, you may be able to see it all the way up there. Let's see what's possible. If not, we had this down here that we expected off of the trend bar. Okay, and that's that distance there off of the trend bar. So it has plans to go somewhere, and then let's just see what that looks like. So it seems that we're still working on this distance here, which will put them through this high. So, again, people that's trying to sell it or people that was trying to buy it and they're driving down into it, it could pose an issue. All right. And so you have to govern your interaction with it in a way that's, manageable for you as far as risk. But this is what it's suggesting. That's the main thing. You got to see what's possible. Where is it headed? Possibly, just possibly. And then from there, you'll get a better understanding of how to interact with the information. That's all. So if we're not going to break here, okay, if we're not going to break here, let's just do some of this. I'm going to put this right here, give or take. Go with the mid of the reversal. Let's do that because I told you the mid of the reversal and the open of the second bar lower. All right, that's important. So the open of the second one lower, which was this guy right here. We can just project this forward. And again, I don't teach reversals online. I can tell you just a couple things about them, but I do not teach reversals online. I do not do it. I don't offer that kind of information online at all. So now, this is a doji, but I'm pretty certain it closed up higher. So we're going to go with this and just say the open of the second bar higher. And so the mid and the open of the second one higher, you get it. It's all there. So let's see. Yeah, give or take. You see it. All right. So this is the information that I told you, the two rules that you want to look at, just a couple of them. So the open of the second one higher. And that's a doji. I really like two green bars, but that's a doji, so we'll go with it. And then, of course, the mid of the reversal, they just closed above the open of this second bar here. They just did that. That's suggesting that the high is weak. You still have the reversal, the mid of the reversal itself, which is roughly that box. All right. I tried to put that right at the mid of the reversal itself. And so here comes your distance here. All right. Now, the open of the second one here and the reversal bar. So the open that's higher here for the move back up, the open of this green bar and the mid of the reversal, they kind of land in the same place here. I told you that that's important. All right, so they moved down towards it twice. I thought they can get through that, but they just didn't want to do that. You can see they used the open of the second one lower, open of the second one lower a couple times here. Finally got to close above both. So they closed above your mid, closed above the open of your second one. So it's a chance that they can run through this top here. Is a very strong chance. So as they're coming down, clearly, if they can just get right back above the center of your chart here, you can probably go ahead and expect that distance to the upside there. Let's see if they can do it. And then I will let you go. And hopefully, again, that this has been somewhat informative for you. If you like the information, please leave a like below. Comment. Yes, please do that as well. I'd like to make sure that I explain the information in a way that you can walk away with absolute understanding of what it is that I'm suggesting when it comes to the information that I'm disclosing. All right, it's very simple. Again, most people have no idea what professional trading look like, and I want to show it to you. It's very, very simple. It's not complicated. You want to use what's right in front of you and use the information that's here. So having a strategy planning without the market can become very catastrophic at times if you're doing it without, what's being, suggested at the time. Remember, the price is information. What they're telling you currently could potentially get you, where you want to go, or it can work against you. And so you want to make sure that you're taking in what's being displayed here. Try not to do this based on, prior pivots, and try not to do that because it can work. And then sometimes, like, they're having a hard time here, but I expect that they may can get through it because they're removing a couple of the requirements. I don't like this bottom. I don't, and I thought they can get through it, but they clearly, again, they changed their mind. So you want to go with what it is that they're suggesting at the time. So they've already removed this. They already removed that. They trying to throw that back in there in some regard. Trying to anyway. No, they closed above that. Okay, so they're trying to mess with this mid, the mid of the reversal. This is like, I don't know. I don't know, but we'll go with it. It's a reversal, so they're trying to do that. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens here. Right at the center of that, just back and forth, just fighting, just absolutely fighting you. But let's see. Let's see. Will they break this top? Let's see. They're definitely leaning it back over again, trying to make another trend back down. It can't be both. Got close though. That's pretty close. All right, so here we come. If if they're gonna do it, let's see. Let's see. And if they do this, they definitely better wind up back through this bottom. All right, so they're coming back here. And we're going to go ahead and say that they'll get at least here. I'm going to hold this video until that happens because they're suggesting a distance all the time. I can assure you they're always doing it. So let's throw a horizontal line on that open of this bar so you can kind of get a feel for it all the way across. All right, so I want to make sure it's right. Yes, it's right on the open of that bar. All right, so we got the horizontal line from the bar here. This is the open of the second one higher. All right, so projected that forward. There's a direct hit here. They're popping up. That's important. The mid and the open of the second bar. Okay, now let's see what they offer us. They're playing just slightly above here, but let's see how that works. Will they head back up here? They got a downtrend and play again. Give me just one moment. All right, I'm back. Do forgive me for that. All right, so we're still waiting. We're still waiting here. Let's see if they can actually let's see if they'll break down. I mean, that was interesting there. Pulled right up on it, closed above that mid as well as the open of that second bar. And decided to come back down here and give another feel for this. So there's that open of that bar higher. They're responding, but let's see what they do. Now, if you go with the fact that they made another downtrend down, let me tell you about that. So we're going one, two, three, four, five, six, and there's seven. So there's seven there. Okay. So that's seven. This would be the mid of the seven. Okay. They got beneath it and they starting to break themselves down. Can they go back down? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see if they can do it. Give or take. That'll put them right back there again. Let's see. Now, if they're building, let's say if they're building themselves back up, you would just again repeat the same process. One, two, three, four, five. That's six. And so you would go here. And that would be seven if they can close it higher. So yes. So now what we would do is take that same distance. It can't be both. One of these turns got to go. Got to go. So we will go here and say yes. That will put us back up here. And I'm trying to hold the video just long enough for you to get all this information. This will probably be outside the scope of TikTok being able to view it. So, but I want to make sure that you understand what it is that I'm promoting. I'm promoting simplicity. It's simple. You have to again gauge how much activity you need. If you're not using size, you would have to gauge how many bars you would have to take out in order to accomplish whatever financial goal you may have per day. So you have to do all of that. I'm not one to do that for you, so you have to do that. So decide what that is for you, and from there you'll understand the movement. You'll get it. You'll say, hey, well, you come here, this would do this for me if I put this many on or whatever, and then go from there and just kind of build around what the market is telling you. That's all. What is it telling you? Build around that. Try not to do too much what's happening over here, because they could have easily ran through that. Just like when they got down here, they could have easily ran through that. I will tell you, in my years of experience, I do know the open of the second one higher or lower, and of course the mid of the reversal. That is really important when it comes to turning. When they're trying to turn that market, that's two of the things that you'll want to look for. There's several actually, but that's two of the things I can outright tell you with no problem and say, yeah, look for this. And if that can show up, it's ideal. They got almost there. That ain't bad. They got almost there, almost. So now they're doing this again. All right. So if they're going to do this again, clearly we have to do this. And yes, they did that so far. So let's see if they can keep that up. And let's just see. They kind of got both trends on the board, and they're playing with you. And again, this is all within a range. I'm showing it to you right here. Now let's go with the mid of the trend. Let's see, one, two, three. So that'll be roughly right about there. Close. They almost got there, almost. And then there's your pop up, and clearly they're blowing right through this. So they should get. They should. I don't know. They're doing it again. They are absolutely doing this again. All right, so let's see. They went past this. Let's see. Let's see. Did they break this? Let's see. I'm gonna measure it. High. Let's go high here. 36. And let's get this high here. It's moving on me. 36. No, they kissed it to the tick. All right, so let's see. Let's see. Came back to the center. Pop up. Let's see. Can we go ahead and take and hit this target and this? Once they get here, I'm definitely got to get off here. All right, so let's just throw a line there. If they can get there, then we're going to conclude the video, and this will be in that section there, and you can take a look at it whenever you want, my friend. And again, all from a 5-second chart. So I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.